जब पता भी नहीं था that you are a female, like periods भी नहीं आए हैं अभी तक, you're in school, but वो टाइम से तुमको मालूम है कि you are being treated differently because of your gender. कि मेरे को मालूम था ये कंट्री में औरतों से कुछ भी एक्सपेक्टेड नहीं है, तो मुझे पता था कि मैं कुछ भी फील्ड मतलब the bar is set so low that you can choose any field you want and become the top tier in that. I don't like talking about things which, like I said, I've not gone through. आई फील लाइक वो हिप हॉप का एसेंस है ही नहीं। ये जो कल्चर है ये हमने अडॉप्ट किया है, ये हमारा कल्चर तो है नहीं। दिस इज अफ्रीकन अमेरिकन पीपल्स क्रिएटेड कल्चर, वी रियली फेल इन लव विद इट, it changed our life, it gave us a new direction in life, it gave us a new identity in life when we adopted this culture.
This is Radio City Hip Hop 91 and we are celebrating This Is My Freedom. And I am very excited to host Deepa Unnikrishnan, whom we know better as Dee MC. Girl, how are you?
Yo, what's up? I'm good. How are you?
Oh, very well. I've been very exhausted actually in the last couple of days. But yeah, I'm absolutely excited. Now it's all the double right now with getting to talk to you. And wow, like, you've been one of the pioneering faces representing women in hip hop, which is, I think now for you as a person, it must be a very redundant phrase also to hear to a certain extent, because clearly it's like every second listicle, every second article that's put about women in hip hop, and you are there, like you are there all over. So firstly, how does that feel? Like, you are one of the few names, and aapko hamesha, every time this phrase female, women, it's always prefixed to you being a rapper. How do you take that actually?
Honestly, I've been asked this question before, and literally every passing period of time, I guess the answer kept changing. And now I think 1 year or 2 years ago, I kind of like, I feel like in between this pandemic, I calmed down as a person, so I'm not as angry about anything in this country. So this is including in that. In a way, I kind of down the line accepted it in a way कि लोग मतलब I guess कुछ malice के साथ नहीं बोल रहे हैं वो, उन लोग बस उनको आदत है prefix की, whatever. It's just so rare for people to see female achieve anything कि किसी ने कुछ अच्छा achieve किया, तो I guess पता नहीं वो it's like collective representation है वो कि like she's representing the entire female race in a way, because हमको इतना late start मिला है to anything, to education, to be able to work. Like it's ridiculous to even think that we were allowed or permitted to work only 100 years ago. So yeah, I guess it's just I've accepted it in a way कि ताकि मुझे irritate ना हो. I just accepted it in a way कि लोग शायद कोई malice के साथ नहीं बोल रहे हैं. Maybe they're just used to using the word female whenever they say rapper when it comes to women in hip hop.
I think you speak for many of us as women. You totally. I won't use the word represent here, but you totally make a case for all of us who have been firefighting all our lives. Firstly, I want to get to your beginning. Of course, knowing you, and because I'm also maternally a Malayali myself, I can understand how culturally bound your family must be. They could be a certain sense of conservatism, a certain sense of reservation. You are a trained Bharatanatyam. You've been doing Bharatanatyam since you were, I guess, 5. And that was, I think that was where you realized that, stage was quite your space. Stage was where was your venue of expression. But for a culturally, good Malayali girl who has, started from Bharatanatyam, how did hip hop really fall into the scheme of things?
The way you said culturally good Malayali girl, it just rung in my head all the times I've been called a bad girl for doing anything different. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's cool. I mean, honestly, I feel like abhi in the past 2 years ye cheez bhi maine, you know, like the more I'm growing, the more I'm introspecting my life as whatever I have done till now, and even being a female is something that, you know, like jab pata bhi nahi tha that you are a female, like periods bhi nahi aaye hain abhi tak, you're in school, but wo time se tumko malum hai ki you are being treated differently because of your gender. क्योंकि इतना कॉमन सेंस हमको होता है, यू नो, व्हाटएवर एक्स्ट्रा रेस्ट्रिक्शंस अगर आप हम पे लगाओगे और लड़कों को जाने दोगे, तो ऑब्वियसली हमको दिखेगा कि कुछ तो है that they are treating me differently because of my gender, even before you know what it means to be a female. So that when you're brought up in an environment like that, which I think goes culturally throughout India, you know, like South India hone do, kidhar bhi hone do, you'll find it everywhere in the nook and corner of this country, that get more privilege and more choot to do whatever the hell they want in life, and we are held more accountable. In a way, we are expected to, or forced to grow up sooner than our age. Like, we are forced to become mature sooner than our age because of the, you know, environment that we are around, and boys are just like, whatever, leniently left to their own space. But again, I don't want to generalize fully. Of course, there must be parents who are very strict with their boys as well, but I have at least seen this, that parents are always more stricter with their female, because दुनिया इतनी खराब है, they are like, हम नहीं रोकेंगे तो everybody will say तुमने लड़की को हाथ से जाने दिया and all that shit. So like, coming back to the question of, you know, like how did I basically make this journey of moving from Bharatanatyam to hip hop, then honestly, because I've been performing on stage since I'm 5 years old, मेरे को मालूम भी नहीं था, मेरे को कुछ मेमोरी भी नहीं है जब मैं 5 साल की हूँ तब मैं क्या कर रही थी, बट मेरे को तभी से एक जो थ्रिल रहता है, like waiting in that wing area before you go to the stage where they announce your name and then you go to the stage, that whole thrill of being on stage and performing, the spotlight hitting your face, I loved that. And I think because of Bharatanatyam, beat catch karna mere liye bahut easy tha from the beginning. I feel like that is because of the training I've had in Bharatanatyam. And I used to write poems and all when I was in school, so I had a pretty good grasp over the languages. मैं जब कॉलेज में थी तब मेरे आजू बाजू में बहुत सारे डांस क्रूज थे, तो आपको भी पता है हिप हॉप एज अ कल्चर यहाँ पे डांस के फॉर्म में बहुत पहले से है, you know. So yeah, मैं भी like I was attracted towards the culture as a whole, where what they are wearing, the type of lingo they are using, the type of music that they are listening to, and the way they move their bodies effortlessly to that music is what attracted me towards hip hop as a dancer first. And then I was trying to learn b-boying and in 7 months I was like, nah. When they were trying to teach me the more difficult steps, I was like, nahi, humse na ho payega. And I jumped ship to rap because I feel like by that time I was already listening to so much hip hop music in my life. Uske pehle sab commercial music hi main sun rahi thi. Even at that time main commercial music hi sun rahi thi, but then a little more lyrical commercial music like Jay-Z or Eminem or Nicki Minaj or Lil Wayne, you know, aisa thoda. So my mind actually then started paying attention towards the lyrics. Iske pehle to it didn't even matter. School ke time pe I used to by heart raps, whatever I used to see. 8th standard se I think mujhe ye keeda laga to by heart whatever fast part of the song. Why? Just cause it's fast and just cause aise mera enunciation acha hai, main bol sakti hu pura. तो ऐसे मैं by heart करती थी without any knowledge of what hip hop is, what this culture is, where it came from. कुछ भी नहीं मालूम था मुझे till this point. And then I put up a cover video on YouTube in 2011. And somebody who lived near me in Dombivli hit me up and basically introduced me to the entire Bombay rap scene and told me that there is a history of hip hop in India जो 5-6 साल का है, मतलब back in 2011 भी there was history of 5 years. So it had started much longer. And for me, that moment was like finding a new world, finding a new universe, like a new community, which is on the same wavelength as I am, but even much like extreme levels of it. So I literally deep dived into the community in a way. And then there's been no stopping since then. I still remember the josh with which I started. This is something I say to a lot of people also, ki like तुम क्यों शुरू कर रहे हो हिप हॉप में अपना जर्नी, वो भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। क्योंकि अगर तुम फेम वगैरह के लिए कर रहे हो, तो जितना जल्दी, जितने जोश में तुम घुसोगे, उतने ही जोश में तुम्हारा जोश फिजल आउट हो जाएगा, छोड़ भी दोगे शायद, ऐसा। तो मैंने भी जब मैंने बी ऑनेस्टली दिस ऑल्सो इज अगेन बिकॉज मैं बचपन से ही ऐसी थी कि मेरे को मालूम था ये कंट्री में औरतों से कुछ भी एक्सपेक्टेड नहीं है। तो मुझे पता था कि मैं कुछ भी फील्ड मतलब द बार इज सेट सो लो दैट यू कैन चूज एनी फील्ड यू वांट एंड बिकम द टॉप टियर इन दैट, क्योंकि इतना कम एक्सप्लोर किया है विमेन ने, यू नो,
हाँ,
डिफरेंट फील्ड्स इन इंडिया। तो मेरे को हमेशा से कुछ ऐसा करना था विच वुड मेक मी वन इन अ बिलियन। So
right.
it could be anything, but it just because I manifested that in a way since I was a child without even actually knowing what it is that I would do. In a way, whatever has happened is meant to happen in my life. So बी बॉइंग मैंने शुरू किया अगेन बिकॉज मैं डांसर थी और मुझे दिख रहा था कि लड़कियां नहीं है इतना बी बॉइंग में। सो आई वाज लाइक क्या ये अलग सा कुछ फुल मेल डोमिनेटेड सीन। तो उसमें मुझे घुसना था। उसमें एक क्रू था जो मेरे कॉलेज में था, ऑल बॉयज। आई यूज्ड टू गो आफ्टर स्कूल to learn with them, and I had tried to convince few other women to come and learn with me. They had tried also, but then again, timing, permission problem, this that, it took so much energy from me ki like fighting at home trying to make them understand what it is that I'm trying to do. Physical endurance मुझ में नहीं था, ये मुझे समझ गया। तो वो जो decision था to switch from b-boying to rapping, that was also a very consciously made decision, क्योंकि तभी तक I felt comfortable enough to be a part of the hip hop community, comfortable enough to feel confident to even try this out कि like चल देखते हैं, कवर सॉन्ग डाल के देखते हैं, क्योंकि मैं 8th स्टैंडर्ड से बाय हार्ट करके कर तो रही हूँ, so why not just let's try. So I put up that video, then he hit me up, and if he wouldn't have hit me up, I would have probably been making cover songs for a while, क्योंकि मेरे को मालूम नहीं था till that time कि ओल्ड स्कूल हिप हॉप क्या है, कम्युनिटी क्या होता है, कल्चर, ये कल्चर आया कहाँ से, इसका हिस्ट्री क्या है, मुझे कुछ भी मालूम नहीं था। मेरे लिए तभी तक इट वाज स्टिल जस्ट समथिंग व्हिच वाज ऐसे ही फीमेल्स ने किया नहीं है, एंड डिफिकल्ट है, और मेरे को हो रहा है इजीली। सो मेरे को मजा आ रहा था बेसिकली। सो या मैं सिर्फ मजे ले रही थी लाइफ में टिल द टाइम आई केम टू नो कि बॉम्बे रैप सीन ये सब है, एंड देन आई गॉट एक्चुअली इंस्पायर्ड कि लाइक ओ डैम, I want to now write my own thing. And yeah, since 2011 started writing my own thing, and made the conscious choice to choose a path which is really less traveled. And yeah, I'm one in a billion now, I can easily say that.
Well, Deepa, I think the one in a billion thing, of course, stands true because clearly, like you said, because representation is so less, and you being clearly based in Mumbai, even though Kalyan is clearly a little cut off from Mumbai, but you being clearly accessible, being based in the city, it you obviously become the natural choice for brands and other collaborators to associate with you.
Yeah.
And you've been a part of quite a few brand campaigns also in the recent, some of which were aimed at colorism also to an extent. I remember one of
Yes.
your songs that you did, Rang. So I think for Rang, especially from D is equal to MC square, you clearly made a case against this whole obsession, with fair skin in this country. And you truly gave a huge boost of confidence to a lot of women to be comfortable in their skin. You've done ad campaigns exclusively for beauty brands, for fairness brands, and you've completely made a case against colorism using your art. So how do you look at your art making such a huge difference to the lives of others?
I think this is also something I learned when I actually learned the importance of hip hop as a culture. And when I came to know that there are so many elements in it, and there is a fifth and most neglected element called as knowledge. So मेरे लिए ये knowledge element पहले से ही बहुत important था, because I wanted the hip hop to kind of become this tool for communication with people in a way. कि
Yeah.
जो टाइम पे अंडरग्राउंड रैप था वो टाइम से मुझे पता था कि हिप हॉप में इतना पोटेंशियल है कि ये जॉनर पूरी दुनिया में ये जॉनर नंबर 1 हो रहा है, हर एक जॉनर को पीछे छोड़ रहा है, तो मेरे कंट्री में भी होगा। और मेरा कंट्री ऐसा है
जी.
कि इधर इतनी लैंग्वेजेस है कि कम्युनिकेट तुम इतने सारे लैंग्वेजेस में कर सकते हो, विच इज जो कोई भी कंट्री में नहीं होगा। दैट इज लाइक सम डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ history when you look at the history of hip hop in world map, and you come to India as a country and you see the diversity we have. We should take this literally so much more seriously कि ये एक टूल फॉर कम्युनिकेशन है। तो जो भी चीजें तुम ऐसे ही प्रोबेबली बोलोगे और लोग नहीं सुनेंगे, उसको अगर तुम एक गाने में डाल के बोलोगे तो प्रोबेबली लोग सुनेंगे और उससे इंस्पायर होंगे या चेंज होंगे या व्हाटएवर द हेल। So yeah, from the beginning of my journey, I've been very, very consciously making all the music that I'm making in my life. And Rang was a part of my album D = MC Square, which was, I think, one of the last projects where you can see how angry I am as a citizen or as a person. Like I feel like after that album, I kind of calmed down in my life, and the music that I'm making now also has message, but it's mellow and more about mental health and self-care than really making, like, now my music is more about internal change
Yeah.
rather than fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting against the external forces, which was what my music was about majorly. Because at that time I was very, very angry. There was a lot of angst in me, so I put it out through my music. All of my music
Yeah.
has, it's very closely inspired by either my life or anybody जिसको मैं बहुत अच्छे से जानती हूँ, that person has gone through what I'm talking about, especially
Right.
being a female. Whatever I talk about doesn't necessarily have to have happened with me only. I derive inspiration, from women of all walks of life, basically, whoever I meet. And yeah, I try to put that through my music. Rang was most definitely my personal journey, literally.
Right.
So yeah, it comes across, people connect with it because I am literally like, I feel like rappers, hip hop artists, they are like open books for people to come and read कि हम पूरा लाइफ ही तुमको बता रहे हैं हमारे गानों से. So we are being the most vulnerable when we put out anything, like Rang or whatever it is, telling you our story. So that connects with people because emotional quotient always connects with people when it comes to art.
Absolutely. I think, Dee, you made a very valid point now when it came to, now using your art to discuss internal factors like mental health, self-love. I think you credit a lot of that to the pandemic.
Yeah, because I got time to उसके पहले से हो रहा था. Like I was already on to that path, but it became really, really real in between the pandemic. Like I made life choices which I had been procrastinating on or whatever. I made some major transformations in my life in this past 2 years. So yeah,
Right.
mentally also it's been great.
Dee, I actually recently asked Siri the same question, and this is a question that I'm going to keep standard in all my interviews for this series. And I want to ask you also, यार लड़कियों में डिसरैप क्यों नहीं होता है?
मैंने किया है, आपको पता है क्या? मुझे पता नहीं. वो गाना मैंने निकाला भी है YouTube से. मैंने एक फीमेल रैपर को डिस किया था जब मैं 19 साल की थी, जब ऐसे ही जोश में थी मैं, सीन में घुसी थी मैं, और कुछ तो था पर्सनल, मतलब she had pissed me off regarding something and I had dissed her basically. And after that, and वो गाने में मैंने बोला भी था, this is the first and last time I'm dissing anyone or taking the effort of even doing this. Discussion nahi
It's so brave of you to admit that. Actually, it's very brave of you to admit that.
Why wouldn't I? If I wouldn't, then I'm like, honesty is something that I have tried to always keep in my music. Like I don't like talking about things which, like I said, I've not gone through. I feel like वो hip hop का essence है ही नहीं कि तुम ख्याली पुलाव अगर बना रहे हो कि तुम्हारे साथ हुआ नहीं है और ऐसे कुछ भी बोल रहे हो, तो I feel like वो है ही नहीं hip hop का essence. तो ये भी मेरे लाइफ में हुआ है बेसिकली. हाँ, उसमें एडमिट करने में क्या है? I don't think it's anything, it's nothing I'm ashamed of either, because I was a teenager, I had fucking hormonal rage and whatever, I did it. at that time. And I feel like, again, by coming back to your question, ki women, why do women not diss each other so much, is because I guess हमारा hormonal phase खत्म होने के बाद हम में aggression इतना नहीं रहता है teenage years के बाद. whereas whereas लड़कों में testosterone है तो lifelong उनमें aggression ही है, aggression है.
This is the answer of the century, I must say. Oh my God, Dee.
So scientifically, I'm like, so
Very,
yeah,
very
testosterone, so aggression, yeah, testosterone is aggression. We have estrogen, so we are calm in life, or whatever. So I really believe that. I really believe this, that from the beginning, like whatever problem you see between men and women, it's not a problem you can question or trace back to 100 years or 200 years. These are issues that were created since the time men created religions and made sure women never get equal status as men. Make sure that all the top positions like Pope or whatever, priest or imams, all of this will always be a man and never be a woman. Who decided all this? And then this religion is the blueprint that the entire world follows. Just for a second, if we imagine like a utopian world where when religions were being formed, there were male popes and female popes both. Like whatever power was whatever, power अगर 50-50% डिवाइड हुआ होता between men and women, तो जो दुनिया हम अभी देख रहे हैं वो दुनिया होती ही नहीं. तुम अगर हिस्ट्री में देखोगे तो हमने क्या किया है, wars, religion, wars. Like wars ही किए एक दूसरे के खिलाफ. साइंस में भी प्रोग्रेस किया है बहुत, but then wars. It's basically what we did. तो अगर हिस्ट्री ऑफ द वर्ल्ड में देख सकते हो कि आदमी लोगों ने सिर्फ डिस्ट्रक्शन ही किया है, तो हिप हॉप क्या चीज है? हिप हॉप तो बहुत छोटी सी चीज है, उसमें एक दूसरे को डिस कर रहे हैं. दैट्स नथिंग मेजर. Especially when it comes to India, diss culture, to be honest, is a joke to me at least. क्योंकि बाहर मतलब ये जो कल्चर है ये हमने अडॉप्ट किया है, ये हमारा कल्चर तो है नहीं. दिस इज अफ्रीकन अमेरिकन पीपल्स क्रिएटेड कल्चर. वी रियली फेल इन लव विद इट. It changed our life. It gave us a new direction in life. It gave us a new identity in life when we adopted this culture. So why not just adopt the good things? Why do you want to adopt misogyny? और अगर इतना तुम में इतना तो किसी के भी इसमें हिम्मत नहीं होगा कि गन वायलेंस को भी यहाँ पे अडॉप्ट करे. वायलेंस को अडॉप्ट कभी नहीं कर पाएंगे क्योंकि एवरीबडी इज इंडियन हिप हॉप सीन इज नॉट एज गैंगस्टर एज वी थिंक. नहीं है, हमारा सीन गैंगस्टर है ही नहीं. यहाँ पे गन वायलेंस नहीं होता है जैसा वहां का स्ट्रीट कल्चर है. बेसिकली जितना लाइक जैसे ड्रग्स कल्चर से वायलेंस आया है बेसिकली इन हिप हॉप. वहां का ड्रग मनी इन्वेस्ट होने के बाद lot of hip hop artists came up. Lot of hip hop artists were themselves involved in the drug scene. So violence and like whatever drug abuse goes hand in hand when it comes to the hip hop culture internationally. We have not adopted that here because why we can't? Why it's pointless to even do that, right? यहाँ पे कौन सा रैपर है जिसने बीफ होने के बाद जाके ठोक दिया किसी और को? सुना है आपने कभी? नहीं. नहीं होगा यहाँ पे क्योंकि अब इंडिया में है.
ऑलरेडी जैसे आप कह रहे हैं ऑलरेडी रिलीजन या बाकी कितने सारे चीजों पे ऑलरेडी इतना वायलेंस चल रहा है. अभी if hip hop has to also like propagate violence, it's going to be very troublesome for the scene.
Exactly. This entire point of violence, why I'm bringing that is because people are very scared to propagate misogyny or casteism into their music also. But misogyny is kind of slowly seeping in where people are just openly using misogynistic words and thinking that there will be zero backlash. We need to curb this right away because it's like a weed which will grow and ruin the entire scene. जहाँ पे मिसोजिनी नहीं है वहाँ पे मिसोजिनी मत लाओ. जहाँ पे गन वायलेंस नहीं है वहाँ पे गन वायलेंस मत लाओ. It's literally is so simple to understand, but people are stupid and so easily influenced that hip hop has that power right now कि जो young impressionable like teenagers है, वो जब सुनते हैं अपने favorite rapper को, वो जो भी बोलता है वो लोग आंख बंद करके यकीन करते हैं उस चीज को, and
हाँ
they are like
जी,
following that path. So if you are openly being like, yeah, being misogynistic is whatever in your songs, they'll also be like that, because look where you are, look at where you are in the rape capital of the world. So do not propagate the negative things, like don't adopt the negative things from hip hop as a culture, is what I would like to say to the scene as a whole.
very well said actually. And you know what, ये अकेला ही इसको ऐसे अकेले काट के ना मुझे शायद एक वीडियो बनाना चाहिए इस पर. It's actually very inspiring what you said. Dee, I think one of the coolest things your listeners and your viewers deserve to know about you is you now started staying on your own, which again for many women in this country is still a concept that is looked down upon at. And you've chosen this life for yourself so that it gives you the freedom and the liberty to channel all your energies and focus on your craft. So would you like to tell us more about that?
Yeah, for sure. I moved out in 2018 because my house Kalyan is very very far from the city, and again,
Yeah.
whatever I am today, whatever privileges I have being a female, okay, like I use this word very heavily कि इतने तो हमारे privileges है भी नहीं, but इतना हमको awareness है कि बाकी शहरों में या बाकी states में हालत इतना खराब है कि बॉम्बे में
जी.
जो भी प्रिविलेज मिल रहा है वो हमारे लिए सब कुछ है, मेरे लिए तो सब कुछ है वो,
Actually,
कि
I
मैं बोल
totally
सकती हूँ
agree.
बिंदास कि मैं बॉम्बे से नहीं होती तो मैं नहीं होती डीएमसी, या मेरे घर वाले अगर केरला छोड़ के बॉम्बे नहीं आए होते एम्प्लॉयमेंट के लिए तो मेरी शादी हो गई होती और बच्चे पैदा हो गए होते अभी तक. तो yeah, basically it was literally about having access to a city and then deciding that I need to be close to this ecosystem to thrive in it, to do anything in it. If I want
Absolutely.
to take hip hop as a career seriously, which I started doing in 2017, is when I got the confidence that I can full time now leave other jobs and full time pursue hip hop basically. So it was very, very difficult. It was not at all easy. I had to fight a lot with my parents, and I've had like even since 2018 I've been successfully living on my own. Before 2018 I tried to move out twice and had to go back to my home. So it was like a attempt I had been making since the time I graduated कि ये मुझे पता है कि मैं जहाँ पे हूँ that is relatively a small town and that my energy is much bigger than this place. I always knew that, so I wanted to get out of there to remain inspired, to remain attached to the scene, because it's so detached. Kalyan is like 60 kilometers away, so ciphers
Absolutely.
or events or whatever it is, I could just never even think about. I still have, even from like whatever time I had to, I still have like caught trains, caught buses or whatever, like traveled in public systems from Kalyan, traveling 4 hours in a day just to whatever go anywhere. I've done all that, and that's why I knew कि ये मेरा कितना energy ले रहा है. So I always knew कि मेरे
जी.
को अगर thrive करना है थोड़ा भी, and it was not at all comfortable. It was definitely not a comfortable ride. Whatever, it has taught me a lot, it has molded me a lot, given me a lot of mental health issues, but which I've gotten over now. In a way, the closest people in my life who have who are hip hop artists also, who have seen all the houses that I've lived in. You can see my growth as an artist through all the houses that I've lived in, like ranging from मेरे पास जब budget नहीं था, जब पैसे नहीं थे, मैं कहाँ रहती थी versus where I am today. So I feel like I can trace back to my journey and feel much like so much pride and so much like basically, like you said, क्योंकि women don't really move out like that before,
Yeah.
before getting married, and in that I did it. And in this period of struggle or whatever also, I kept my head high, and yeah, I am where I am today because of all the uncomfortable spaces I put myself in a way. I see it like this ki back when my friends and people around me were comfortably living in their houses or whatever, when they were younger, in my younger age only, I put myself out of my comfort zone, like pushed myself out of my comfort zone, and that is the reason why I am, I've been able to achieve so much more than anybody around me is because I put myself through situations which people probably will not put themselves through. Basically, it was not a harsh thing or anything. It was just life, like things worse than this my parents generation has gone through, or just people who were my neighbors in areas where, like are whatever, like socially financially not so great areas may also I have lived, where I've seen other people live. So when I compare my struggle to their struggle, my struggle is nothing, but then it still is something to me, which I've now accepted. Basically, abhi tak whatever uncomfortable positions I was putting myself in, it came with a lot of tough love, because I thought tough love is the self love that works or whatever, which I've now reversed in a way, where I know that tough love is never going to work with yourself when it comes to you.
Yeah.
So yeah, this journey has taught me a lot that way.
Well, all I can say, Deepa, is that just talking to you right now has given me so much of purpose, so much more purpose and so much more strength. And I really feel like that I could get to learn something from, just chatting with you today. And I'm sure that, once this interview is out there, put out there in the universe, I'm sure a lot of young women who will watch this, will get inspired by your story. And all I can say is, dude, you've really, really changed the way women in hip hop are looked at. And all I can say is I wish you all the very best. And I can't wait to hear more wonderful music coming from you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It was a great conversation to have with you as well. And yeah, I hope anybody who watches this is left feeling exactly the way you are feeling right now. Thank you for having me here.